a line in the sand. He didn't bow when the pressure came, didn't trade conviction for comfort or fame. When truth got heavy and fear ran deep, Charlie Kirk stood, wouldn't retreat. Faith in his chest, spine forged of steel, spoke what was real when lies felt real, when silence paid, when courage burned. He took the heat and the fire turned. They tried to drown it, tried to break the spark, but truth cut sharp in the deepest dark. We are Charlie Kirk. We carry the flame, not for applause, not chasing a name. He stood for God when the cost was high. Now we stand tall, no compromise. The fiery lit still burns in us, through the noise, through the hate, through the dust. The torch is ours, the line is drawn. We are Charlie Kirk, and we carry on. From hostile halls to open ground, he held the line, didn't back it down, didn't preach safe, didn't speak weak, called men to stand, not turn the cheek. Not perfect men, not flawless hands, just fate-driven, truth-bound stands. When the world said bend, he said no. That's how the fire was made to grow. They mocked the faith, they cursed the name, but pressure only feeds the flame. We are Charlie Kirk. We carry the flame, not for applause, not chasing a name. He stood for God when the cost was high. Now we stand tall, no compromise. The fiery lit still burns in us, through the noise, through the hate, through the dust. The torch is ours, the line is drawn. We are Charlie Kirk, and we carry on. This ain't worship of flesh and bone, it's truth outlasting the microphone. One man spoke, now thousands stand. Faith in our hearts, fire in our hands. We are Charlie Kirk. We carry the flame, faith unbroken, truth unchained. What he ignited won't fade or die. It multiplies every time we try. The fire lives, the mission stays. Pass through courage, not delayed. The torch is ours, the line is drawn. We are Charlie Kirk, and we carry on. Stand your ground, carry it on.
Welcome in, guys. Welcome in. All right, let's see. Thank you very much for the engagement, guys. Not sure why it took so long for that one to display, but all right, let's see. It's been a long day for me, guys. All right, hello and welcome back, my Tater Nation. It is Thursday, and you know what that means. It is time for Tater Talks Thursdays, where the takes are hot, the mics are on, and the potatoes are fully baked. This is the round table. This is the open panel. This is where bold ideas meet real conversations. No scripts, no safe little sound bites, no flakes. Just organically grown conversations served fresh. And you know us potatoes, we have lots and lots of eyes, and we like watching all those interesting things that humans do up top. And we like diving into those big questions, those sharp disagreements, and maybe even those little uncomfortable truths. But we do it with logic, respect, and a willingness to actually listen. So pull up a chair, check your ego at the door, please, for all that is good. And let's dig in, because this is Tater Talks Thursdays. And of course, before we begin, this program contains open dialogue and unscripted commentary. As participants speak for themselves, their opinions are solely their own and do not necessarily reflect the views of the host or this channel. Conversations may include strong language, conversational perceptives, or emotionally charged positions. The purpose of this format is dialogue, not endorsement. We expect all participants to follow platform terms of service and community guidelines. Personal attacks, threats, or calls for harm will result in immediate removal. And of course, viewer discretion is advised with the possibility of strong language. And we'll see what we've got here. All right. Welcome in, guys. We've got quite the chat going on. Marcellery. I appreciate the engagement. Thank you very much for getting in. Trafalgar, appreciate the engagement, buddy. Good to help you doing all right. Leia, good to see you as always. Haven't even checked on my equipment, so I'm glad I'm not burning it up this morning. Everything looks like it's working right. Wi-Fi, good to see you, buddy. Good to see everybody. News, views, and truth. In my opinion, Charlie Kirk is alive. That's an interesting take. I've heard that before. Appreciate that, Leia. Good song. I like how that one turned out. All right. So, Homestead, thank you very much for posting those into the chat. If you would like to join our panel, anyone is welcome to join. Just understand that it will be possible of live. Not possible, but it will be live, possible of clips. I try to respect people's privacy, but I would like to encourage anyone that would like to voice their opinion to take part or voice it in the chat, and I'll try to voice it for you during the panel. However, that it may end up working out. So welcome in, everybody. Looks like David, where are you? There you are. Evening, people. Good to see you. I appreciate you coming back and engaging. All right, so let's see, who do we have? It looks like Homestead is up in the panel, so we'll start that off here pretty soon. And again, if anybody would like to join, you're welcome. Anyone is welcome. Just have to join the Discord. If you're not part of Discord, join Discord. It is actually a pretty good social media. You don't have to join, anybody else's Discord. Just join mine and be part of the discussions, right? But anybody is welcome. Just join the Tater Talks vetting room once you join the Discord. And if anything doesn't work, hopefully Mr. B or Home Faucet, you're listening, Homestead. If anything doesn't work for you guys, please let me know, because I've been messing with permissions and I don't think I've gotten there yet, but who knows. Thank you for the engagement, David. So the topics should be in the description below, but I will be reading them off here shortly. For anybody on the panel and the chat for them to know, but you are welcome to read them at any time in the description below. All right, so I will get over here, make sure she is ready for me to start here, and we'll go from there. Hey, Homestead, can you hear me? Okay, all right. Are you ready? Okay. I'll jump over here and we'll start off chatting and then we'll see what happens. Was Leia gonna join? Oh, okay. No worries. Okay. All right. Give me just a second.
Okay. No rush.
All right. Where am I at here? Jeez. Okay. So have you had a chance to look at the prompts, Homestead?
Not really. No, I've been so busy all day.
I hear you there. I've been crazy busy. I'm not sure exactly why, but yeah, life happens. All right. So let's see. What do we got? What did I put on? Okay. So number one, if your memories could be uploaded to a computer, what would that still be you in essence at that point? Number two is, if every lie anyone has ever told become public tomorrow, would society be better off? Number three, would you accept a brain implant that doubled your intelligence? Number four, if aliens offered humanity unlimited energy in exchange for giving up all weapons, should we accept it? Number five, should every citizen be required to spend at least 1 year working a public service job? And then in number six, if we end up getting to all these, that's okay. But number six is privacy becoming obsolete? And should there be anything done to change the current path that we're on? Do you have anywhere that you'd like to start, Homestead?
You take the lead and I'll follow.
Okay, no worries. Give me just a sec. We'll talk to the chat here for a second.
Okay.
Let's see. Dude, let's see. News Views and Truth says, dude, Palm Beach interview with Matthias was super sus. Okay, so if you have any links for any of this information that you're feeding me in the chat, I'm always up for new information. So please bring it to my attention. Any way that you might have that you can bring it to my attention. If you don't have Discord, I don't know. Say something in the chat and we'll see what we can figure out. Because I am open to new information for sure. Welcome in. Don't call it art. Good to see you. Do you mind if I use these questions for first day questions? That's funny. Let me see. That's interesting. The interesting vetting questions. Let's see. Would you give up kissing versus giving up sauces and gravies? Give up kissing versus giving up. That's an interesting topic.
Being a fat girl, I'm going to say I will not give up my sauces. And gravies. No, sir.
There you go. I do like my sauces. Sometimes gravy. I'm not a big gravy fan. Hey, JB, good to see you. Good to see you. I appreciate the engagement, buddy. It's always good to see you, man. All right. So let's see. What do we want to talk about first?
We could just go in order.
That's fair. If your memories could be uploaded to a computer, would that still be you?
I say no.
I would say no too myself. We definitely need more people on the panel so that these don't just go whoop, gone. Come on, people, engage. I'm just kidding. If you're busy, please don't feel like you need to come on the panel. Hey, Beatrix, good to see you. I went to I know I'm pronouncing this wrong. Timpanogos Cave, and now I'm dead. What? Wait. We're talking to a ghost, Homestead.
Not me. That's a demon, sir.
I know, right? Good to see you, Beatrix. Good to see you. I know that you're not a demon, so that's good to see you. That's funny. JV says, no, the computer doesn't have my soul. Right. All right. So there's been something that I just read recently that basically is indicating that they have the capability of downloading your psyche or uploading your psyche, I guess it would be technically termed as, and keeping you alive through that computer software program. So I'm curious if there's anybody in the chat, if you don't want to come on the panel, feel free to voice it in the chat. Would this be something that anybody would be willing to attempt to do in this stage? And then if it were to become a possibility, would it be something that you would want to do to live on forever? Right. It's not something I care to do. I don't know. I'm almost to the mindset where I don't want to live on this planet anymore. Almost, guys, almost. Please don't send the brigade after me. But no, seriously, like, we really need to start thinking about our future and our kids' future, what we're going to do if people stop having kids, like it seems like they're running toward, right? Marcelay says, where's Heaven? He's usually here by now. Yeah, I'm curious.
Yeah, I just tagged him in
did you?
the Discord asking if he was coming.
That's funny.
I mean, he's probably dealing with his kiddos, so
that's fair.
No rush.
Don't call it art. It says, I would want to upload my brain just so that I can have someone on my intelligence level to talk to.
I would not want to talk to myself. Like, I'm stuck in my head.
I'm already
all
talking
the
to
time.
myself. Yeah, I feel you. JV says, no, it feels like playing God. And that's where I'm sitting is we need to be passing on our generation. So God said that we wouldn't live past a certain age. I think it was 120 years, our days is what he said at some point in the Bible. And so we should be trying to achieve that, but we shouldn't be shooting for more than that, right? We should be trying to shoot for as much time as we can on this beautiful planet that God has given us so graciously, and the ability to live on it and be saved by his sacrifice, right? So we should be trying to strive for the amount of time, but the ability to go past that, to feel like you're playing God and doing something God doesn't want you to do is feels crummy to me. Welcome in, Leia. How are you?
Hope you're well.
Good. You're kind of low, so just be aware of that. Want to make sure that they can hear you. News, Views, and Truth says, dude, God will save us. And I agree with you. God will save us. As long as we believe and we're doing what he has asked us to do. Problem is a lot of people think that all they need to do is just say that they believe in his name. They don't even have to really confess that they believe in him. They just believe that his name is real and that they're saved. So we need to be pushing toward the idea of being righteous in our doings, as well as helping people to learn to be better, right? Beatrix says, definitely in the heart of Timpanogos. Wait, I think I missed something. Anyway, definitely not in the heart of Timpanogos is what she's replied with. Anywho, Leia, since you're the newest in the panel, do you have anything to say on the topic that we're currently talking about?
Can you hear me all right? Or you say I'm too low?
No, you were, it just, as you came in, I don't know if you were just like coming in, because as you came in now, it almost seemed like it might have been low for a second, but you sound clear for now. So go ahead and.
Okay, let me know if that changes, and I'll.
Sure.
I muted kind of quickly, so maybe that's why.
Maybe.
Yeah, I've also seen the same kinds of things you're referring to, like the stories that claim that they are uploading people's psyche and or memories, and or I think I saw one that claimed they were uploading their actual personality to some sort of cloud or intelligence or system, whatever it might be. And I'm not in love with that. It's a little freaky.
It is
to me. I think it's like 10 steps beyond freezing your body cryogenically, because it's like your mind.
Well, and
I feel like that's what most people find precious.
Right. Well, and it goes back to the show, I think it was on Apple, called Uploaded. Have either of you heard or seen that at all?
No.
Homestead, have you heard it about it all?
No.
Okay, fair enough. So Uploaded, I don't even know if I saw the whole first season. I want to say it was first coming out and I was like, this is terrifyingly interesting. And basically the premise of the show is the elite have built this, what's the word? Club Fed in the digital world. And they have paid to upload their psyche onto this cloud Club Fed. And what it does is it evaporates the head to upload it onto the cloud. And that's not necessarily part of the discussion, but it's always interesting to think of that because they put it in to a fictional movie. They could have literally just done anything but that. And that's how they chose to depict it. Funny to me. So that's creepy. Yeah. So they try to reanimate the bodies later, and if you haven't seen the show, I highly advise go check it out. It's wildly interesting, terrifying at times. So the main actor, he is tech savvy, and he has been able to hack into these automated vehicles. And so at the first part of it, it shows him taking over and he controls the thing through traffic and swerving in and out and doing this, that. And then later on in that same episode, because obviously it's uploaded, not his life, and he is driving along in the automated vehicle, and he's coming up on this stopped semi. It's just parked in the middle of the road. And he tries to take over, and it won't allow him to take over. And he, again, tech savvy, has hacked it because it's not something you're supposed to be doing. And he's doing it before. So this is out of the ordinary in and of itself, let alone the fact that it was out of his control to begin with. That's terrifying. So then he talks to it and he's like, there's a semi in the road. And like, no, that's not possible. He slams head on into it, full speed, obviously ends up going to get into the uploaded, so has passed on. Now, it didn't pass on. It was to the point, like, you have to be still alive to be able to upload or whatever. So they generate this Club Fed for him, and like try to get him to upload. And he's just about to say, no, I don't want to. And they evaporate his head and upload him. Well, then he's trying to like get people to understand that this was something that he didn't control. Like he should have been able to control it and he couldn't control it. You shouldn't have been able to control it in the first place. And he was able to control it and he couldn't control it. And so it was an interesting rabbit hole, if you will, watching that show. So again, if you haven't seen the show, I hope I didn't spoilers per se. There's a lot to the show that I tried not to spoil. So go check it out. But anyway, I'll let you guys have the floor if you have anything to say on it.
That sounds really interesting. I'm definitely going to have to check it out because it sounds really, really neat. I haven't really watched anything like that per se, since like The Matrix is probably the last movie I've seen that really deals with uploading your consciousness. But yeah, I would have a lot of like just logistic questions as well. Like, how are you going to store it? Who or what will maintain it? Will AI be involved? Once they have your half of your essence anyway, because obviously the soul is the most important. But that's the other thing. To the people who say yes, if they take your mind, they have you or whatever. But what about the soul? Like if they were to put that mind, well, you said memories. Do you mean like your whole actual mind?
Yeah. So
okay, just making sure.
Basically, what happens is you become an avatar of sorts in this machine, this cloud, and you're assigned a handler, and he's assigned a little, a female, and she's, wake up, test your body out, kind of thing, and look in the mirror. Do you look right? Kind of an idea, right? And so your mind makes up this reality, but they've created this virtual reality. And News, Views, and Truth says it's on Prime Video. So if you do want to check it out, I highly recommend it. It is intense. More Celery says uploaded show is intense. So it sounds like she might have watched it. Uploaded is on Amazon streaming. Yeah, so definitely check it out. It's crazy. I want to kind of check out I think it came out with a second season, and I want to check it out. But anyway, long story short, it brings up.
You should react to it.
The question. I don't know how that would work. Speaking of reacting to like copyrighted videos and doing an excellent job of being able to get past the copyright and stuff. What is his channel? Murder the Mouse, I believe, is the channel. And he goes through the Simpsons from like season episode 1. And he takes the commentary and he breaks it down and kind of gives his own commentary to it. And this guy goes through 30-second clips to make 10-minute videos and uploads each 30-second clip to test out the copyright, goes heavily edits it, and then re-uploads it until he gets it copy clean. And then he'll clip it into, and then he'll clip it into a 10-minute, 20-minute video of the episode. So if you haven't ever heard of him, I know he's part of my Discord. I don't ever see him around. I know he's busy. But Mushmouth Joe, if you ever see this buddy, shout out to him, and Murder the Mouse, as well as what's the other one that he has? Can't remember for some reason right now. But check that channel out for sure. It's I like The Simpsons. There's a lot of hate around The Simpsons for the prophecies of sorts. So
that's really funny that you say that, because I've been waiting patiently to bring up The Simpsons. Like, I think I remember an episode where they were putting people's heads in little jars so that they could be brought back in a future time. Mr. Burns was one. Like, I'm pretty sure I've seen that episode.
I don't recognize the one personally. I'm not saying it's not true, but Futurama also has the heads in jars, which I highly recommend as well. It was a wildly enjoying first 4 seasons, and then it kind of went not necessarily the greatest, but Futurama had the heads in jars as well. So I didn't see maybe that episode, But there's been many episodes that I remember because I loved The Simpsons. Probably
90s
more.
baby.
What's that?
90s baby. You.
Me, yeah, that's fair. Well, it also boils down. It also boils down to the fact that my parents didn't like The Simpsons, so I was rebelling, and so whenever I could watch it, I would go and do it. You know what I mean? And so I enjoyed The Simpsons a lot. So I watched from episode season 1, and I had them all on DVD, so I had watched them multiple times. So there was many things such as the 9/11 Twin Towers that I did see many episodes of that interesting alleged information. So I've seen a lot of it personally, firsthand. There's been a lot of AI recreations lately, which makes you wonder how much can you believe of anything. But yeah, News, Views, and Truth says Simpsons have a track record for predicting future events. They really do. Like I said, I won't necessarily dive too far into that, but yeah, go ahead, Leigh.
Sorry, I was trying to jump in without interrupting. You know me. I would really like to see a prompt one day about predictive programming and like
Think you'd be?
what is it, messaging, subliminal messaging, because those would be really interesting topics that I just thought about. But yeah, that would be my major question about all of it is like, are we really us, even if it's our whole entire mind, memories, etc., without the soul? Because I think that's pretty important.
I agree. So like I said, if again uploaded, it's a wild show. And he like I said, he tries to explain to these people, and especially his girlfriend. And his girlfriend, I can't remember. Maybe it was somebody in the chat that I was talking to. Maybe it was, I can't remember. Anyway, long story short, she gets an intimacy suit, and it has little fingers inside of the suit, and you can stimulate yourself with the person that's not there. And she stays in it for like weeks and becomes disgusting. But it's interesting to think about, because again, I wish we had more pushback of anybody that would be willing to say, yeah, I would download my thoughts. Now, Don't Call It Art has kind of mentioned it, and I understand the idea of being able to talk to somebody as intelligent as you. I can understand that. Now, like Homestead said, I don't know if I'd ever want to talk to myself. I talk to myself more than enough as it is. But having someone to talk to would be nice. Yeah, Leia, go ahead. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
Oh, no, I was just saying, yeah, right, that part. I talk to myself, and I even answer myself every once in a while without having to do that.
Right? Yeah, I hear that. And again, if anybody's part of my Discord and you want these brought up as suggestions, including yourself, Leia, please drop them in the Discord. I have a topic suggestion channel, and I am doing a lot of reconstruction on my Discord, so I'm willing and open to suggestions on channels to add or something like that. And I'll think about it. If I don't add them, don't take it personally, of course. But I want to be able to get feedback from the people who are watching and who are engaging. I don't want to just add what I want to add all the time, right? I love my channel, and I love being able to tell you how it is, right? Right. But I also want to hear from everyone else as well. So feel free to drop any topics in the subjects suggestion channel in my Discord, please, by all means. And then Don't Call It Art says, did y'all see Kevin's 9/11 video had a completely different angle of the second plane from the Statue of Liberty? He didn't upload it for 20 years. And see, that's another thing, is we're seeing footage that we never saw before. It's wild to me to just see it. And again, I'm not going to necessarily voice anything on stream because I don't know. I mean, who knows? Like I've said before, you can only know something if you've seen it, because at this point in time with AI, with the deep fakes that we've had for many, many years now, it's hard to really be able to discern everything. I'm not saying you can't discern everything, but everything, right? Let's see. And then met on the top guy.
I agree. It's scary.
Sorry. Yeah, it's terrifying. It's getting crazy out there. Hey, Barn, good to see you. I spend the majority of my day by myself, so I talk to myself all the time. It's not weird. Helps me work through problems too. I do. I work by myself for myself. I'm my own person, so I talk to myself a lot, which is why I started my own channel, so I don't feel crazy. I'm talking to myself. Anyway, Leigh, you were gonna say something, I think.
No, just agreeing that AI is really scary. It's impressive in a scary way, in my own personal opinion, because I mean,
Good to
I know
see you,
everybody
Mrs.
likes
D.
to think that they can always tell, but I can promise you, all of us have been fooled by at least one video because it is getting so good.
Oh,
And it used to be like what? Yeah, it's getting ridiculous. When it first came out, it was like super easy to tell, like it was glitchy and it would always mess
I hope
hands up, and it
soon.
had these like telltale signs.
I'm over
And
half.
now it's just so smooth and advanced. It really makes you question literally everything you see. It's crazy.
Well, and what's scary about it is the fact that it's been 5 years that we've had AI videos. I think it might even be generous even.
Yes. Yeah, I feel like it's only been like 3. Maybe it is. I don't know.
Yeah. I want to say you might be right. I was gonna say like 1 or 2, but I was like, it can't possibly be that little. But I've been watching videos of people that show that'll show the original AI or whatever of Will Smith eating noodles. Have you guys ever seen that? It looks like a monstrosity. It looks like a devil, like a demon, like scarfing down the noodles. It's terrifying almost. And then it goes to what we see, and this was probably even I don't know, maybe a year ago at this point in time, because like I said, it can't possibly be just a year that this has been going on, but it was a year from the first video that I just mentioned to almost like Call of Duty style graphics, or even better. And it was like a year. And so the jump there is crazy to think about. Real quick, yes, Mrs. D, thank you very much. Let's go, nearly there. We just need 248 more subscribers. If there's anybody in the chat that knows anybody that wants to join, please let them know. I am trying to get there. And Homestead, thank you very much for dropping that. If you haven't checked out Rattlesnake TV in the chat, I know that you probably have, but please do. Please do. Did you delete my message? No, I didn't. Did a mod delete a message? I don't think I've seen a message deleted, so it might have been YouTube. Now I'm curious what you said. Anyway, so is there anything else basically on that topic? I know that we were just basically just kind of agreeing and BSing, so we can move off that topic if we want.
I don't think so. I did just put something in general chat because I don't see an option for side chat. But anyway, I put it in general, and it says basically, as far as the search engines we know today, like Perplexity and such, about 3.5 years. So there's that.
Okay, so what are we referring? Sorry, what are we referring to again?
How long we've had AI?
Thank
Sorry,
you. You're good. It's been a long day for me,
breadcrumbs.
and I'm a potato. So, yes, 3.5 years is crazy fast, because as far as I'm concerned, 5 years is fast for what we have. So,
100%.
Yeah. And thinking about it at that progression, what are we going to have in another 3.5 years? So we really need to be starting to think about what's actually going on with AI and the data centers, and what we call as data centers, right? That they love to let us believe that are data centers. Whose data? What data?
Yeah.
Right.
Quote unquote.
Yeah, exactly. I won't necessarily dive down that hole right now because we do have other prompts on the table, but please start thinking about what data and whose data. That's all I'm going to say. Okay, so let's see. Anybody in the chat? Not necessarily anything in the chat. So, okay. So do you guys have anywhere that you would like to go, or just go to the next one?
Oh yeah, we can go to the next one. I would just offer, as far as a closing thought kind of on this topic.
Sure.
You just brought up the deep fakes. That's one of my oh my goodness, that's one of my biggest fears when it comes to my kiddos.
Yeah.
Which is one reason I don't, I try to be very cognizant of even having their voices on stream, and I never ever show them.
Yeah.
The things that people can do with deep fakes is horrifying, and it's created like a whole new market that I won't even touch on, because that could for sure be a TOS if we talk about it for too long or go down a rabbit hole. But yeah,
please do, birds,
it's
if you want.
terrifying, and I think that more parents should be, like these mom influencers out here should be a lot more concerned about putting their kids on the internet than they are, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm judging. I'm not gonna lie.
No judgment as far as that goes, but a little judgment. I'm sorry, not sorry. I know I'm an asshole. That's why I call myself a dictator. But the thing is every time that we allow this, and I'm not saying that this is you, Leia. I'm saying this. Don't ever, anybody in the chat, don't ever put this on anybody on the chat or anybody in the panel. But this is what I'm saying, and we got to stop just allowing this stuff to happen. You as the parent need to be holding your kids accountable, right? We need to be holding ourselves accountable, and we need to be holding each other accountable. I hate being that guy, but I have built my platform
be that guy.
to be that guy, right? So I have never been that guy before, but that's why I'm building this. So I love everyone, and that's why I'm doing this. All right. So the deep fakes and the videos, the ads that I've been seeing to do a video from a photo, and these videos are not okay, right? I don't know if you get what I'm going, but it's not something that the person that sent you this photo is going to want you to have unless they were to just send you a video of this, period. End of discussion with anything for that matter, right? But we're talking about sensitivity, right? So seeing these ads for things that people are advertising for you to join. And then like you just said, Leia, your kids, right? We've got parents that are allowing their kids online at younger and younger ages. We have Piper Raquel. We have Tater. We have how many others that have been groomed for this? Anyway, I'll shut up. You have anything, Leia? I think you were trying to say something.
Oh no, I'm just completely in agreement. And you said you didn't want to be that guy, and I said, be that guy. We need more guys and gals to do that, because I know sometimes we want to be all, around a campfire, hippie doodle, like all get along and don't want to upset anybody. But when it comes to this, it's our future. It's our babies. We should be willing to upset people.
Well, and that's the thing is I don't even have kids, and I don't know, maybe, I don't want to presume or anything like that, but on RSTV Discord, I have been labeled as a pit bull, and I appreciate them. And again, if you're not part of RSTV Discord, please join that Discord as well. The Snake Pit is a fun place to be if you can handle it. It's called Snake Pit for a reason. But I have been labeled a pit bull, and I don't know why. But I don't want to presume, but I would like to think that I've been trying to go after it, and I will continue to go after it because I'm tired. I'm tired, guys. So yeah. So do you guys have anything else? We can move on if we need to.
Oh, we can go ahead.
Okay.
I've derailed enough.
You're good. You're good. You're good. I have been on a diatribe today. So I don't know. I'm tired. And not in a physical
Well,
way.
we're sure glad to have you. And you're allowed. It's your channel.
That's fair. And I am very grateful for every single one of you in the chat and the panel especially. And again, if anybody wants to join the panel, please feel free. I don't want you ever feel like we're going to attack you or anything like that. Like if you know a lefty or if you're a lefty yourself, I don't even know if that's a derogatory term. I don't want you to ever think that I'm being a derogatory. I just don't agree with you, but that's okay, right? If you're left, I want to hear your opinion too, because I want to know. I want to understand why you think the way that you think, because I have never thought that way. It's never been something that I've had the ability to. I can't say the luxury, because I wouldn't call it a luxury, but yeah. Let's see. Marcellery. I don't even know what to call you anymore, Marcellery. I want a cool tag on there, just a silent sandwich maker and unvaxxed opinion haver. So if you don't know, RSTV has those as their roles. We have many roles on my Discord, but cool tag. Chat with me in Discord and we'll figure it out. I am not opposed to adding stupid more roles. I have a couple other ones, I'm pretty sure, so I don't have a problem with adding a couple more. Hey, AVG, good to see you. Appreciate the engagement. And again, as always, if you don't know, AVG does have her own channel as well. Go check that out. Thank you very much for joining the panel, Heaven Maxed. Make sure your mic is working. How are you?
Hi, how you doing?
Good. Good to have you. Chat's been asking about you, so good to have you. Okay, so do you have anything
Always
that
good to see you.
have you been able to keep up on what we've been talking about? Do you have anything?
No, I'm currently unbuckling my kids from the car seats, and I just saw the Discord notification and went, "Oh, well."
Well, you didn't have to necessarily join if you weren't ready, but you're good. So is there anybody had anything before we move on to the next topic? Because we were just kind of ending that topic right now. Okay. Chaos Theory, welcome in. Good to see you in the chat. Let's see. I don't think there's anybody else new that I haven't called out. And again, as always, I like calling people out. So please shout me out. Just like, Tater, what the fuck? All right. So the next prompt down, unless somebody has somewhere to go. Okay. So the next prompt down is every lie it's kind of an important word. If every lie anyone has ever told became public tomorrow, would society be better off?
Oh, I think a purge would ensue first.
Ensue
And
first?
then it would, oh, yes. Because once lies come out and people realize that they have been deceived and taken advantage of, the first thing they do is go pound some fists. You know what I'm saying? So something would ensue. And then after that, I think everything would be so much better.
So you think that there would be a purge before every lie would come out? Or you think that there would be a purge because
when the lies came out,
okay.
right? When the lies came out, people would react to being taken advantage of, and then after the reaction, everything would be Pleasantville.
Okay. Anybody else?
By lies, do you mean like the lies by the government, quote unquote, aka shadow orgs, aka people in charge?
That
AKA?
too. So this is everything, like every little white lie.
Okay.
Everything that you can possibly imagine as quote unquote a lie, bending the truth. So let's define a lie, right? Since I need to start getting into debate mode. What's the definition of a lie? Does anybody really know what that is? Because I can't honestly say that I do.
I would say it's an untruth. You can lie by omission and by intention. You can leave something out and it be a lie, or at least dishonest.
Okay.
Or you can intentionally tell them.
Okay. Anybody else? Okay. Oh, Homestead, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to agree.
Okay, that's cool. I do agree. I'm not disagreeing. So the Google answer is a lie is a false statement made with the deliberate intent to deceive or mislead someone. Now, how I was always raised is bending the truth, omission, anything that sways somebody away from seeing reality, seeing the truth is essentially a lie. We agree on that one? Sounds like. Okay.
So I don't think that it's better for society that all lies are out in the open, even though I do think every lie should be addressed with honesty and repented for at some point. But
welcome in, JB.
JM. We're taught, and
appreciate the engagement.
Biblically, you're taught to admonish your brothers and sisters in Christ, right, in privacy, not in a public square. So I feel like if you remove that ability, then you can't correct them, the way that we're taught.
Fair. So, okay, so since we're in agreement on what a lie is, that would be then every single thing that you consider a lie is then overturned. Everybody sees everything tomorrow. It's like your body count being written on your forehead, right? That old joke. But everybody sees all of your lies or something along those lines. You just know everything. Would society be better? Having maxed you, right? So, Leia, go ahead.
So sorry, I was just going to say no, absolutely not. I tend to agree with Heaven. I have a policy that honesty is always the best policy, at least almost always, about 99% of the time.
Okay.
I don't think most white lies are really truly even acceptable, even to spare feelings. I feel that they're just kind of useless at best, kind of betraying at worst. Okay. But when it comes to their lies that uphold things like society itself, like little lies that, not so little lies, national security folks might tell us, for example, to actually keep us safe, quote unquote. Sometimes it actually does, right? Those could be excused, etc.
Okay. So, just like something that, like, what would be something? Can you think of an example?
I actually have a good one. Let's say President Trump has a spec ops plan, right? And he's like, we're going to do X, Y, Z. And that's the plan he's telling everybody to kind of like trick the enemy, quote unquote, right? A theoretical enemy that we actually think is evil. And we're tricking them. And then immediately it's like, he's lying. You know, you can never have any kind of, what's the term? Not secret plans, but incognito.
Operational security.
Exactly right. You'd have no chain of command anymore. It would cause quite a lot of issues there.
Okay. Anybody else with that?
I could think of. I do agree. I could think of another kind of strange example. Say a family gets into a car accident and you're an EMT, and the mother is trapped, and the child died on impact in the back seat, but they can't see them, the parent. And you're a paramedic, and this person, the mother, is unstable, right, and critically injured, and say a panic attack could send her into a heart attack and kill her, for example. Right. And she says, "Is my child okay?" I don't think saying, "Yes, your child's fine, we're taking care of her," before you put her in the ambulance and take her to the hospital would be unforgivable, right? Because you're putting her health and well-being first, even though it's dishonest.
That's fair. That's fair. Anybody else?
What are your thoughts, Tater?
So I actually do agree. There are certain things. OPSEC, for example, is a thing that the public can't. You can't allow the public to know. If the public knows, then your enemy knows. However, and again, I'm not changing the hypothetical yet. I will here in a minute. But with that being said, all of the white lies that we all tell each other, right? No, you don't look fat in that dress, right? Those are stupid and they might hurt feelings, but in the end, are they better? Especially the women on the panel.
Sure. I agree with Leia on that. You know, it's rude, right? You're actually not being loving or kind.
Right.
It may be nice, but it's not loving or kind.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
What were you saying, Leia?
Oh, I was just going to say, the only people I could see it being better for would be like the very, very weak of constitution, like those that literally, you can't handle the truth, but actually, perhaps they would think that it was better. But yeah, I completely agree. I stand by that. I don't think it's ever better to be dishonest 99% of the time. Anyway,
I do have a question. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
Sorry. I was just going to ask you a question. What about as a parent, right? Like your kid doesn't do well at a sports game. Is it okay to give him the white lie and say, "You did great, you tried your best"?
I think it depends, right? Like that's a really tricky question. I could see some instances where I would say yes. I feel like most of the time, the answer would be, you did great. But
yeah, you do, Dave.
We're going to practice and we're going to help you improve. Would be a great answer if they just played like shit, Right. Yeah, I don't know a nicer way to say that. But I feel like that would be a great answer, right? But I would not go out of my way most of the time, without there being an extenuating circumstance I can't quite see in my head right now, to actually tell them, like, you did a great job if they didn't, you know.
Right.
I would just not volunteer any information before I would lie to them, you know?
Yeah, we have to be careful, especially because we like to support our circle, right? And so our friends, we don't usually call them out when they're doing things wrong. Like, for example, I just heard about a story of a gentleman that's basically just giving
Tater,
up.
you're roboting pretty hard.
Of course I am.
Okay, seems fine now.
Of course.
Sorry, the moment I say something.
You're good. I don't know why that was happening. Running a speed test now to see, but I was getting good speed right before I started my panel, so I was hoping that it would be all right, but it doesn't look great. So we'll see how it goes. But anyway, can you hear me all right now?
We're fine, and then you literally go from like roboting to perfectly fine.
Oh, I'm sure I do. Yeah, with the internet, it's going to be like that if it's bad. I'm still getting decent speed. I don't know.
Yeah,
anyway.
Yeah, you're okay now. Sorry.
Okay, so you're okay. So basically, the story I heard is a gentleman is just basically giving up, right? And his family finally checked on him, found out whatever, right? But we need to be looking out for each other, friends, close ones, right? If they're quiet, reach out to them. Your neighbors, again, I say this almost every stream. Check on your neighbors. You never know what they're going through. Be kind, right? Be kind, not nice. Don't tell them what they want to hear at the moment. Tell them how it is so that they can actually improve what they're trying to do and be better in life. Hey, Static Age, good to see you. Appreciate the engagement. JM, I don't think I've actually shouted you out yet. I think you're new. I don't think I've seen you in the chat before, so thank you very much for the engagement. I didn't hear the beginning of the start of this live. What's the chat about? So so what we do is we have open panel Thursdays, and anybody is welcome to join. And I bring prompts to the front tonight. And this prompt that we're currently working on is, if every lie anyone has ever told were to become public tomorrow, would that make society better? And now, since we've kind of talked about all of the lies, now let's remove this OPSEC, because that is an important one. That's a necessary evil of sorts, right? So now let's talk about all of the other ones that people do just randomly, real quick before we do that. But Abe, good to see you. Appreciate the engagement. And as always, Static Age Show and Abe have both their own shows. I'm sure that they will be dropped in the chat. Thank you guys for the engagement. Really appreciate you. Just say, hey, how you doing today? All good? Good to see you, Jam. All right. So anybody on that? Oh, Sam Bomb. Good to see you, mister. Anyway. Go ahead. Anybody?
Nope. I think
the same thing goes.
Possibly society might fall apart.
Society might fall apart. So, okay. So if we're removing OPSEC, the necessary evil, now we're just talking about all of the other lies, and you think that society would crumble if we were to release all those?
I do, just for the fact that we are a fallen people, right? And I can't imagine, just on a personal level, like you said, taking out like the government and all that, just person to person, husband and wife to mother and child to etc. Like the lies that maybe not most, but many people
I appreciate
tell
you,
each
ABG.
other and even themselves on a daily basis about their relationships, about their past, like you said, body count, this, that, the third. If all of that was just exposed overnight, I feel most of us would have at least a couple of people in our lives that we would question, like, who even is this person? Like, I don't actually know them at all.
Damn, shots fired. It's fair.
Not anybody in particular, just, some people are liars.
I know you're
I feel
looking
like
at
everybody
me.
lies, but
I'm just,
never you, Tater. Never a Tater.
Everybody does lie, and that's the thing is we do have to have some understanding of some semblance of leeway when it comes to white lies and things like that. But when it comes to white lies, then it's just niceness, right? We're not actually giving them any feedback to improve their life. We're just saying, yeah, you kill it, right?
I disagree a little bit.
Okay. You
I
have anything?
think people lie because they don't want to deal with the confrontation that comes from the relationships that become complicated or complex. They would rather it just be easy and like their newsfeed on their social media.
It's fair.
That's not how people get
She
close.
actually,
Go ahead, Leah.
sorry, Homestead, Homestead, you bring up a good point, actually, that put something in my head anyway. There would be another group of people that this would deeply affect in a negative way, which would be people like victims of Smith's Muse in their relationships. And sometimes lying is what protects them, right? I could think of many hypotheticals. I'm sure we all understand the types of things I'm talking about. When someone's submissive, it doesn't take much to trigger them, right? Really submissive, not, y'all know what I mean. So these people not being able to tell whatever lie they need to tell to protect themselves that day could actually be dangerous for them. That's about the only, other than, you know, bigger governmental stuff, etc., about the only thing I could think, like, that would not be great for that reason.
Yeah. Well, it goes back to the Epstein files, right? We want them released. If society crumbles because of it, society crumbles. So where does that line
I shouldn't
get
have
drawn?
let it happen for so damn long.
I agree with you. So where does that line get drawn? What lie is okay and what lie isn't?
No lies are okay.
I mean, I don't want to. I want to be careful because I know of TOS and
That's
you've been
fair.
calling this, right? But in the UK, the fact that there's 250,000 that just came out in that study, you would think that, you know, that would overshadow anything that would come out of the Epstein files. So, you know, like, you still wouldn't be the worst one on the table if you released all of the files, right?
Interesting.
There's always going to be something worse, right? But until we start confronting what's wrong, when are we going to get to the things that are worse? And without confrontation, we can't get there. And if everybody white lies their way through it, we're never going to get there.
Yeah, exactly. It kind of goes back to where I've mentioned the agreement to disagree. It's time we put it to bed. There's time for childish things, and then there's time for adult activities, or whatever the saying goes, right? It's time we put the childish things to bed. Shame needs to come back. The idea of transparency somehow needs to come back to a certain semblance. Now, OPSEC, I understand. There's a certain level we can't allow our enemies to understand. I understand that probably better than a lot of people do. But it doesn't change the fact that if we can't trust our government, who the fuck can we trust? Let alone our people, whoever we have in our life. Welcome in, Wolf. Good to see you. I appreciate the engagement.
Yeah, I mean, like,
go ahead.
you could say this hypothetical, if you stretched it to if all lies became known as what they are, right? But maybe it didn't quite tell you the truth, you know, so it's just like this person's being disingenuous, but it doesn't tell you the truth. You could have some OPSEC still in there.
Sure.
But maybe if you said that, like, every lie that was interpersonal could not be said in the first place, I think the world would be a better place, right? Like, if your tongue literally got tied every time you went to lie to a family member, a friend, even someone in your local community, I think that'd probably be beneficial.
It's fair. Yeah, Static Age, he says, bring out the wood chippers. Yeah, unfortunately, I don't know. Allegedly.
Just not enough.
In Minecraft or whatever they say, right? I don't know. I'd happily donate. What was that, Homestead? Or Heaven Max, sorry.
Sorry, I was just agreeing with you. I was like, yep, wood chippers in Minecraft.
In Minecraft, yeah. David, appreciate the engagement. The power speaks to the people like they are children because they have been doing so since we were enrolled into kindergarten. And that's the problem is we need to start taking back the reins because we, the people, the 1% are the 1% for a reason. There's 99% opposed to that. All we need to do is just wake up. Anyway, we'll get off that. JM says, the Epstein files are pointless. Yeah, I know. Doesn't mean I'm not gonna shut up about them. Any pushback that we can do, and we need to start doing so, including that. What was you said? 2,500 people on that list haven't maxed. Anyway,
250,000.
Jesus, I was so off.
Yeah,
250,000. That's disgusting. Anyway, so. Okay, so we're down to basically OPSEC has been removed from the hypothetical. Now let's say, like, for example, Epstein files are pointless and we don't end up releasing them. They're X'd out too. What about all of the other lies underneath that? Can anybody think of anything that's beneficial there?
Is it beneficial to have redacted names?
It's fair. That's a good question. Because unfortunately, we're human. Everybody on the earth are human, as far as I know. And so, with that being said, we have to have some understanding of, we're all going to make mistakes. So, somebody calling in and making a false report would end up on those files. And if they've made a false report about somebody, that person cannot be held liable for something that they had no, if somebody were to call up and say Tater was on the files somewhere and that were to somehow get into the files somehow, we all know I ain't ever fucking done that shit. Or if you don't know, you should by now. But long story short, anybody can say anything that they want to, and the law has to take some of it into account. Anything on that?
So,
nobody's ever going to be taken.
Sorry, you go.
Go ahead, Homestead.
I was just going to say nobody is ever going to be held accounted for. So I don't even feel like this is worthy of a conversation.
Okay. Welcome in, Mr. B. Do you have anything on the subject that we're talking about currently?
I do. Are there
Appreciate
any
you, Scott.
systems of lying that can be good?
Right. So that's kind of what so other than OPSEC and the fact that if the society were to crumble because we release certain files or lies were to come out, besides those, is there any root of a good lie? And OPSEC, again, it shouldn't be a lie. It should be just an omission, which is still technically a lie, but it's not. It shouldn't be him straight lying to our face.
There is a whole government agency built on lies that protect. It's called witness protection.
That's funny, JM. I'm actually going to be covering that here in a bit. Sorry, Mr. B. What was that?
That's literally what I was thinking about. Right?
There is a whole government system built that protects, that is built on lies. It's called witness protection.
That's fair.
Yeah, but
if all those lies came out, everyone that is inside there that put criminals away would be dead.
There is a question, though, about whether or not it's moral to do something like witness protection, because at a certain point, sometimes they protect people that have, put to rest many people, right? But then, because they're someone a little bit worse, then they go scot-free and get a new identity. And, it's maybe at the lower level, it's okay, but when you get higher up, it's immoral.
I mean, sure, but just saying witness protection should be done away with, then Jenny, who just put away Tony the mobster, who has nothing to her name except for witness protection helping her, then she gets screwed over.
No, that's a solid point, right? Like it's like if you're an innocent person and you need your identity hidden for your security, then we do protect the innocent, right? But if you're not an innocent person, then why are we protecting you from accountability?
Because sometimes in protecting them, you can also punish them. Sometimes a mobster who lived high on the lam and a mansion with 5 stars is now in witness protection and has to be a sales clerk at Borders Books.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm getting at with the OPSEC, Marcel.
Sounds like a nice retirement to me, but I've never been in the mafia.
Well, if you go from driving Porsches and Lamborghinis to now having to drive a beat-up Saturn and work at a bookstore, it doesn't exactly seem like nice retirement to somebody that was extremely wealthy and is now not having to be.
Well, except for if you compare it to being dead or being in prison.
It's a good
then they'd
question,
still
JM,
be
actually. That's a
considered
very
living
good
pretty
question.
high on the hog.
But most mobsters in prison live pretty good.
So,
I'd still argue no matter how good someone lives in prison would be
Right.
the same as being free. Sorry, go ahead, Tater.
you're all right. JM in the chat asks a question that's actually kind of pertinent. It says, "Is omitting without voluntary information still lying?" So again, like OPSEC, for example, if he doesn't come out and say, "Hey, this is what's happening," and he out and out lies to our face, would it still be a lie if he's just not telling anybody about it? Nobody would ever find out about it and have to question it. No voluntary information were to be released. Would omitting it at that point in time still be lying?
I mean, it's dishonest. I don't think even
I
a
agree
lie
with
by
that.
omission would require somebody like asking you and you choosing to be dishonest, like for whatever motivation you might have.
Right.
So I don't know that I would directly call it a lie, but I do consider, lies by omission dishonesty generally. So
Sure.
dishonest.
Do you tell your kids that Santa's real?
Actually, no, but I have a whole story and reason for why on that.
Jeez,
But
you
most
just
people
ruined
do. So.
people's childhoods. What are you doing? I'm just
I
kidding.
didn't say
No,
anything.
Still do it.
Because
I
I did not let any of my kids believe in that.
Fair.
Yeah, there you go.
I didn't dissuade it, but I didn't enforce it.
It's fair.
Yeah, it's
I
hard.
just-
I still
I
remember
just
finding
didn't
out.
made sure that they didn't think that like our gifts were from Santa. They knew our gifts were from us.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, because that enforces a whole nother thing. Like, well, why does Santa get this person this toy? But yeah,
Oh yeah.
I'm with you.
Yeah, I won't be letting my kids fall into but anyway, I won't necessarily I don't care. Anyway, long story short, moving on. I'm not a dictator, guys. I'm a dictator, but I'm not a dictator, all right? Anyway, Static Age
Tater dick.
I'm a tater dick. Anyway, Static Age says all governments run on lies, not just with witness protection. So again, there's a lot of things that they just don't tell us. So again, is it a lie because it's omitted because we never asked? So they just never had to tell us? Still dishonest as far as I'm concerned. But is it a necessary evil? Because again, I'm pretty sure we've mentioned it on panels before or something like that people are neurotic, right? They freak out over the smallest things. And when the mob gets going, there's no stopping the mob. Which then leads us to, ourselves, but we won't get into that right now, right?
I prefer to call myself fun, but neurotic works.
Well, I'm definitely neurotic. I mean, have you watched me? Come on. Anyway,
What about a lie from a ER tech to keep someone from going into hemorrhagic shock so they stay calm? You aren't fine.
I kind of gave that example with the kid.
But you aren't fine, but you tell them they are so that they stay calm so that you can then get them to fine.
just don't let kids watch this, all right?
Yeah, if it's life and death. I kind of gave the example of a child.
Sorry if they're...
I'm not sure if you were listening, but I said if a family got in a wreck, child was dead, parent was severely unstable, and asked if their child was okay, paramedic wise, to me, that's acceptable. If it's life and death, I mean, there's something to be said about informed consent when it comes to procedures, but when it comes to like, you know, little
I
quote
mean,
unquote white lies.
that's more you trying to keep a parent from freaking out that their kid is dead. I was thinking more along the lines of someone has a piece of rebar sticking out of their liver.
Oh, so
And
I'm
to keep
sorry.
them
I really
from
am. Please
going
take
to
that
the
as a
shop
true
Right.
and report
apology.
it, you
I don't
tell
want to
them they're
ruin
fine.
people's childhood. That's not my goal.
Yeah. Even though it's not, similar.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's when it comes to life and death. I feel like that's one of the few completely acceptable quote
What about
unquote white
if
lies.
it's going to get an IV and the doctor says this won't hurt to keep the kid from panicking, knowing that it's going to be a pinch and it probably will hurt, but it's nowhere near as what the kid's presuming.
I will keep that in mind for now.
Mm.
I won't let that happen again.
Yeah. I mean,
Like that.
I just
I would prefer to just know.
there's a fine line between
Like I said, I won't let
what's
that happen again. I'm sorry.
justifiable
I am
and what
sorry.
is
I feel bad now.
actually a lie. And
Sure, I can agree with that.
Fair, but
it
Go
just
it's fair.
it's
More
just a
celery.
matter of
It's fair.
determining the
Still feel
place
bad.
and time. Like it's not fine for me to lie to my wife about our finances if I accidentally spend money on our credit card.
I like being family friendly.
Or not
I do.
accidentally, intentionally spend money on our credit card and not tell her. That's not okay. But if someone is like going to die or is in a
Seriously, I want to be family
situation
friendly
where
though. I
you need
started
to
that way. I
risk
shouldn't be that
something
way.
to protect something else. I see the lie as being permissible.
It's fair. Let's see. JM says, how far would that go? If you couldn't read people's minds and you wouldn't know any different or intent. That's fair. All right. So is there anything else on that topic? We can move off that topic.
Oh, did we lose Homestead?
Yeah, looks like it. I'm sure it just got busy. Husband called or something like that. So was there anything else on that topic then? No? Okay, so going down the line, the next one would be, would you accept a brain implant that doubled your intelligence?
No.
No, thank you.
I have no desire.
Would you, Tater?
No. There's nothing that's going to be entering my body that's foreign, other than the meds or whatever that we have to accept. Even nanotechnology, as much as I can help it, I'm trying not to let that into my system. But anyway.
But here's a more interesting proposition. Would you accept a implant that would cure you of everything that ailed you if there's a 1% chance it could kill you?
No, I wouldn't. I don't think.
No more sickness, no more weakness, no more hurt, no more ache.
Yeah, I think that comes with being a part of it, living in a fallen world, So I just think that, like, to forego that, to risk what would technically be, I don't want to say the TOS word, but like bye in yourself, I feel like since you're taking that deal, you're kind of doing that.
What if you aren't in your body, but you're quadriplegic? And it could cure that.
Yeah, so I would say that those types of things, like when you could even talk about Neuralink, I would say that helping people that are disabled get to what they would have a just an average or wanted standard of living. I think that that's fair.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, Neuralink is not the example I was talking about, but that's a good one. I was just thinking like hypothetical cure all pill. This cure all pill cures everything. 99% of the time is perfectly safe. But that 1% could get you.
True.
I mean, if it's a one-time dose, sure. I mean, what's the harm? But if it's something you have to stay on, the harm factor could grow.
Well, and I think it's easy to say, like, no, thank you, when we're relatively healthy. I think that people who are chronically in pain or chronically ill might have a different answer, and I can't really fault them for that. I know plenty of people who have very regular pain. My mom, bless her, God rest her soul, she lived with pain every day of her life. So I would never have judged her if she had that option and she took it, right?
Yeah. Well, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess then, it's a really hazy thing, right? Because at what point do you say that you're not just getting someone to a standard living that you would say is comfortable, but you're actually giving them a leg
Fair
up
enough. Don't
beyond
call
what
it art.
nature
Fair
would
enough.
desire, right?
Right.
True.
Well,
when going from disabled to average to mecha human, right?
Right. Well, and it's like the story that just came up in, what was it, the UK, that they just euthanized the 12-year-old girl. Did anybody hear about that?
I did not.
I thought that was Spain. I may be wrong though.
I could be wrong about the country. I was going to cover it, hopefully at some point, but yeah, it just happened. She was in debilitating pain, and the
Netherlands.
the Netherlands, thank you, and the end was in sight. So the parents and the doctors decided for this young lady that her life wasn't worth trying for. And they ended it because she was going to pass away anyway. And the comment section was wild, guys. So I'm curious.
People
Well, yeah, that's what
accepting it
May
instead of
does.
Real quick, sorry, Mr. B, you came in first. What was that?
I said, was the comment section wild because people were accepting it instead of being disgusted by it?
Well, both, sure, but majority was accepting, like, was fighting me on it. Okay, so
Yeah.
I have
It's
anecdotal, we have statistics, we have all sorts of stories of people that get told you have 3 months to live, and they're here 21 years later.
Oh yeah, there are people who are born with debilitating and degenerative diseases that go on to live long lives.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So my mom was diagnosed with sarcoidosis, and she was wheelchair bound for 10 years and bed bound for 6 months out of that, still like nonstop, right? Where I was literally carrying her up and down the stairs and into the vehicle and stuff, like while she was waiting on a wheelchair and stuff, or like if there were any issues with it. And so I've seen the real hard side of what an autoimmune disease could do. And she at one point was just like, if God could take it, then, like I'd be all for it. And I don't want to, talk too much about her position, but I will say that she bounced back, right? And now she's pushing my kids on the swing and playing with them. And she's just like, oh, life does go on. And, you do still have happiness, and you don't want to forsake that.
Right. Well, it's like Marshall.
Praise God.
Right. It's like Marcelary in the chat says, my dad was given 6 months and he died 16 years later.
Yeah.
This is not something that's abnormal for me. I see this all the time. I see more success stories of people being told that they're going to pass than I do of hearing people say, yeah, he was given 6 months and that's how it went. I mean, sure, that doesn't really, like, it's not like that's going to be like somebody on top of somebody's head or whatever kind of a thing. But it just, like, you know what I mean? It's just wild to me.
It is, especially while thinking about MAID in Canada. And there's programs. Make no mistake. People think that it's conspiracy theory. Read between the lines. Something like MAID will absolutely come to the U.S. Canada is the testing grounds for these degenerate programs.
I unfortunately agree with you on that one too, and it's terrifying to me because that's why I keep bringing these UK stories up and Spain and wherever I can find, because they're testing these things. So if you haven't read Klaus Schwab's book 2030, it's an interesting read, right? You think 1984 is an interesting read? Check it out.
Well, the first person that MAID actually went for was they started auto dialing the disabled veterans to try and get them off their dollar.
That's wild. And unfortunately, it doesn't surprise me and disgusts me at the same time.
Are you sure you don't want some help in this area?
Right.
No, thank you.
Yeah.
And the standards have gotten lower and lower. Like before it was deadly diseases, like when they were for sure, and a whole tribune had to like sign off that it was going to be deadly. There was no possibility of healing, etc. And it's gone from that to like debilitating disease to now it's mental health. And they're trying to get it approved now for self-deletion. Right, literally. They're trying to have it approved now for self-deletion ideation, and they've already approved it for use in children.
Well, yeah, I was going to say, MAID is now in for kids and stuff in Canada too. I'd heard that they were trying to pass that, and it's just like for kids, like, and now we have this with Spain. So I'll try to cover it again. Like I said, I just so many topics, so many things that I want to cover, and I only have 1 day a week that I can actually cover topics. But it sets a terrifying precedence that parents can just unalive anyone that they want to under their care.
So, Tater, I want to give you just another thing to look into. Look at where they changed that law, because how they started the MAID in Spain is a really tragic story just in itself.
Oh, really? Yeah, I'll have
a girl got abused 3 times, and she jumped off of a balcony, right?
So I covered that one. I'm talking about a new one. I'm talking about a 12-year-old girl.
Yeah, that's what allowed the precedent for the 12-year-old. So the whole thing is just sad the whole entire way through. Yeah,
I'm with you now. Yeah, dude, that's terrifying. Okay, so is there anything else we wanted to talk about on that subject?
If I could, just to say one thing, I think that this ties into the Smithsonian debate. It ties into a lot of these debates because the main problem with all of these issues, the same subjects that keep coming up, even like the MAID program, et cetera, at the end of the day, is that whatever it is, institution, the people within the society, even ourselves, themselves, do not find human life valuable inherently because they have a secular view. They don't see people as the Imago Dei, aka image of God, worth protecting. Therefore, they can excuse pretty much any murder they want. It all comes from the same root of that evil.
If you are so unhappy in your life, it's not worth living. Go ahead and call MAID.
Thanks for telling me, Werewolf. Appreciate that.
Yeah. It's wild. It's wild.
Wild is putting it nice. You know what I mean? It's demonic. It's evil. It's terrifying because again, every pinnacle society throughout history, when they start to unalive their young, is when they fall, is when they crumble. And what we have coming when we crumble is not something that I like talking about or thinking about. It is terrifying to me. So before Revelations happens, before, these are part of the seals being broken free and things like that, probably is what I'm seeing happening. So probably we're in for a shit show no matter what we do. And that's why we need to look to God and God only, Christ, the one and only Savior and Creator to keep us from the eternal damnation. But we also have to be doing what we can as he has asked us to. right? And there's a lot people don't understand. A lot. But there's like 3 or 4 people in the chat. Like Barn, he says, my neighbor's son was only given 18 months to live when he was born, and he's 22 years old now, right? But if so, for example, the reason I bring up this story, so like the implant becomes a thing. The implant can cure anything, including Down syndrome, including anything that you can possibly imagine, right? Hypothetically. And would you then give it to your child?
Definitely not. No.
Anybody else?
Absolutely not. No.
I wouldn't give it. Oh, I don't know.
This could possibly save their life and give them a full, filled life and happy and member of society and all that good bullshit they like to fill us full of, right?
I have a genetically transferable seizure disorder, and both my daughters have it.
Right. It's fucked up, isn't it? Like, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to necessarily put this forth towards you per se, but it's something we really need to be discussing, right? Anyway, I'll shut up and let you talk, buddy.
If they could live without this disorder, just be free of the weight of it, it's a hard sell to pass.
Right? If in all best of intentions, I
completely understand.
Oh yeah, I entirely agree. If in the best of conditions and the best of intentions, 100%, fucking do that shit, right? But
it's that 1%.
But not me.
That 1%. Bingo. What was that, Leia? Sorry.
I said not me. While I know I am speaking from kind of a privileged position, so let me just go ahead and acknowledge that. There are things that I worry for genetically, etc., and I would have to say that I wouldn't do that because, for one, it's that slippery slope of playing God, right? And
right.
For two, it's, we're all trying to teach our children that we overcome adversity, and that's part of how we find meaning in life, right? But if we could just snap our fingers and the adversity goes poof, what are we really teaching them?
Yeah. Well, and that's just it. That's just it, right? Like I say, with the best of intentions, most people would do it. And I don't mean me, right? I don't even know what I would do for my kids. And me, fuck no. There is no way that anything foreign is ever going into my body. It's almost to the point where I don't even want to get surgery anymore because of the things that you don't know is happening once you go under, right? I still get it because I want to stay around. I do like life, but I'm not going to put a foreign software, hardware program entity into my body. That's for sure. And then to take that ability away from your kid, right? So once they have that in their skull or whatever, they don't have the full ability to say no. Now they have it and they don't have any way of living without it, because if they were to remove it, now they're so set and dependent on the life that they had. At 18, they're not going to be able to function properly in the real world, which leads us to a whole slew of other questions, right? Anyway, Leia, you're just about to say something, I think.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say, plus, what does this entail? Does now that they have this foreign, questionable technology in their head mean that they now basically have a kill switch as well? Is it something they just install and leave alone? Highly doubtful, So there's also that aspect of it. I would always be worried for.
Right. Well, and so the thing is God would never give us technology to be able to do any of the things that he promises us in the abilities that he gives us. So it hypothetical only, never will I ever actually ask this question, right? But if the best of intentions, if say it were to be everything that God were to say, okay, that's fine, of free will, you can accept that. Like, I mean, that's really hard to say that you wouldn't. So again, me, fuck no, there's no way. There's no way. I will pass on. I will do whatever, and I will go to my Heavenly Father because I'm tired of the world. But let's even say that it's a perfect world, and we don't have to worry about leaving our kids to a shit show. But to have the ability to give them a full life, that is going to be extremely tempting to a lot of people, and that's what concerns me.
Yeah, it's like the Brian. I forget his last name, but trying to live forever, and he's in his 40s, and he's like, I'm hoping to be in the Forbes 30 under 30 this year because of all of the weird stuff he's doing. And it's like, is that normal?
Right. And there's again, I want to be very clear. There's no way that even you either trust your government or you know history. You can't simultaneously do both. So it boils down to the fact that we understand where these technologies are coming from. So can we really trust them ever? Probably not. But again, it's going to be tempting, and it's not anybody on this panel. It's not anybody in my chat. But it's, again, bringing up the subjects that people are not talking about that we really should be discussing, and this should be viral content, and it won't be, but that's fine. I'm not doing this to be viral, right? Go ahead.
Sorry. One thing that should be talked about when you're talking about things being pushed on people is, and, just look into what the doctors are going to prescribe for your children as newborns before you actually say yes to anything. Like when you look into the vitamin K shot that they give a lot of babies right out of the womb, they really push for it, even though it's completely optional, right? Like you can choose whether or not to take it for your kid. It's black box, which means that it has no medical benefit for a child that age. So there's no benefit for it. There's actually a lot of chances it can cause harm, and yet they still recommend it.
Yeah, I've seen a lot about that. Yeah, it's disgusting how much, like you just said, you need to understand what's going into your body, your kid's body, before you have it done, because there's a lot I won't dive into because I don't know what I can say and what I can't. But I know a lot that people don't understand, and it's hard to get people to understand it when they refuse to think for themselves. Werewolf says YouTube is the new Coliseum. That's just it. There's a lot of Coliseums. There was a post just today, I want to say, about Lake Powell. Since I just brought it up, we'll just chat about that real quick. Is anybody on the panel not know what Lake Powell is right now? Is like
possibly me. Could you explain it?
It's fair. So Lake Powell is a decently sized reservoir that feeds many, many thousands of people, and they just blasted a new boat ramp because the water is so low that the boat ramp does not reach it anymore by hundreds of yards. Football fields, probably. And
sure. Okay.
So now we have just spent possibly billions of dollars of taxpayer money to put in a recreation site into this water reservoir. Is basically another circus of sorts, where I don't necessarily claim that it's a bad circus. There's good circuses and there's bad circuses. But everything that we do that keeps us occupied and keeps us from survival and from advancing our own benefits is essentially a circus and keeping us distracted. Give them bread and circuses. So we have to be careful of what we invest our time into. I've said it before. We vote with our dollars. We vote with our time. Our time is money, and our votes go through you pay Walmart, you've just voted Democrat, right? Because they support the Democratic Party. Target, the same thing. They went woke, they went practically broke. But you pay for stuff there, you're supporting LGBTQ because they do. We vote with our dollars. We need to start paying attention to that. Yeah. So I don't see anybody new in the chat, but I appreciate the engagement, guys. And then like JM says, there's only two truths. death and taxes. And where taxes are theft, and I will say that pretty much till the day I die, they are a necessary evil to a certain extent. And we need to understand where that necessary evil ends and where our freedom needs to start. Because again, the tree of liberty is way past due for a watering. All right, so get away from the doom and gloom. It's not what I like to do. I've had a day. I apologize. Now, on to the lighter things, right? Was there anybody that wanted to say anything on that topic?
I'm okay.
Thank
on
you,
that
Scott.
One. Thank you.
Appreciate it. Right on, Heaven Max. Appreciate the feedback. Jeremy Briggs in the chat. I think I haven't shouted you out yet, so I think I appreciate the engagement. I think I appreciate the engagement. No, Jeremy, I really appreciate the engagement. This is Fruit by the Foot and Hot Pockets and OF, not bread and circuses. That's fair. Anyway, well, I appreciate that. Oh, 19 likes. That's all. Come on, guys. If you haven't liked the stream, please like the stream. I appreciate that, Scott. I want to give the shout out to the mods. Appreciate you guys more than I will ever be able to tell you. This setup would not be possible if it were not for my mods. So shout out to the mods. With that being said, in order to keep this channel going, I would like to ask for any donations that are possible to also help keep the mods going as well. They keep you going. They keep you help. They help you give your voice a voice, right? They're allowing you back onto this panel. I give the platform, but if it wasn't for my mods, I would not be able to have this set up. So thank you, mods. Thank you, chat. Thank you, panel. With that being said, we'll move on to the next one would be if aliens offered humanity unlimited energy in exchange for giving up all weapons. Should we accept that?
Heck no.
Okay. Yeah, this is going to be a lot of agreeing. That's why I'm pushing back so hard. I want that to be clear. I'm playing the advocate of the gesture. I'm not. A lot of these takes are not necessarily how I feel. Anyway. Go ahead, Heaven. Were you saying something?
Oh, sorry. I might have pressed the push to talk. I was chasing after my kid.
Oh. Gotcha. You're good.
So the question about giving up security for energy, I think that's dangerous, right? We're told to lay down our cloaks and pick up a sword, and I think that is we have to have the ability to.
You need an EBT card. I'm good, Jeremy.
I don't think that there's any
the like is
that
all.
says, "Hey, I'm going to give up the ability to defend anyone I might think is innocent for any level of power, electricity, or anything, energy."
Sure. Anybody else? Yeah, I'm sure it's going to be all agreeing on this one. Yeah, so
I mean, do we give up some? Yes, right. Like, obviously, we're supposed to have the same rights as the state, but I'm okay with saying that not the average Joe needs to have the ability to touch nuclear reactive components, right? Materials and stuff like that. I think that if we just left that up to the nuclear facilities and the military, I'm okay with that. So, to a point, I guess I am willing to give up.
Yeah, I think that is JM. I think you're correct about that.
Weapons for security.
It's fair. So if aliens offered humanity unlimited energy, now this is unlimited energy. Like, so for example, it were to be, let's try to put, because it's gonna have to have somebody in charge. You're not gonna be able to touch it. It's not gonna be your energy. It's just gonna be like, so for example, we have energy systems right now that the Department of Energy, like Jeremy Briggs in the chat says, the Department of Energy. So we would create a Department of Energy that would then control all that energy. So then we have no worries ever again of power shortages. So unlimited energy in exchange for giving up all of our weapons. What would possibly be like the prerogative behind that? right? What would they be getting out of that? Why would they do that?
That's one of those things that it's strange that I'm okay with us keeping our weapons, but I'm okay with imposing that on other people, right? Like with Iran. Like, okay, let's give them nuclear energy, but make it completely impossible for them to have any weapons. Then I'm okay, right? So if you're talking nation to nation, I can make it a concession, but individually, no, I can't.
Fair. Yeah, Abe, exactly. Sell your cloak and buy a sword. It's like Abe in the chat says, if you don't have a cloak, or if you don't have a sword, right, sell your cloak and buy a sword, as it says in the Bible. It's time that we start to stand our ground as Christians. Long live the grid. Interesting. Hey, Reexamination Show. Good to see you. Good to see you. If you don't know, Reexamination Show does have his own show. So check it out. Yeah.
I like to call him Rex.
Rex, yeah. Also known as Rex, yeah. JM in the chat says, I like the movie Don't Look Up, and I appreciate you actually pointing that out. Has everybody on the panel seen Don't Look Up?
Sounds like another watch party.
It might have to be. Who here has seen it? Have you seen it, B?
No, I haven't. But I was just going to say the only reason an enemy invader or a seems like potentially alliance invader would want you disarmed is because a disarmed population is a more docile population. They're easier to control.
Exactly. Exactly, right? So if aliens come down and they're like, oh, we're going to give you this a free energy that will then become ours when we take over, but we won't say that. Give us all your weapons, right? Yeah, they disappear for 10 years. They're coming back with full force or whatever. Maybe 10 years, right? You see what I'm saying, right? Don't ever give up your weapons of blood or of patriots and tyrants alike. Exactly. The tree of liberty is due for a watering. We are here to defend the Constitution against foreign and domestic threats of violence. And it is threats of violence. Anyway. So, yeah, have we moved off? So, okay. So if they offer energy, yep. And then, something I was going to say. Oh, Don't Look Up. Okay. So you haven't seen it. Has anybody on the panel seen Don't Look Up? No. Okay. Yeah, it might have to be a watch party then, because it is an interesting one. I think I want to say I watched it in theaters, but long story short, it's about a meteor that is racing toward the Earth at Armageddon-sized meteor that has many, many rare earth metals, we'll just say, right? Minerals of sorts that they can make millions off of. And what do we think our government currently would do if we had this happening now? Anybody on that?
I think they tell us, right? Because there's enough people out there that would just deny it and call it conspiracy that they could tell us something like that blatantly. And I think that many people would just, I don't think it'd be as catastrophic as you think. Like how many times do you hear, oh, in 2029, this asteroid's going to hit us? I mean, where's the fallout, and the panic and everything and anarchy? It doesn't happen. And then a year later, you find out, oh, it's going to miss us by 1 billion miles.
Sure.
Is the premise of the question
I won't kick you, JM.
What would the government do, as in would they try to harvest this asteroid, or would they
Jeremy
just
was
not
good.
tell us? Like,
it was good.
What are we trying to say here?
So I should have expected you. Anyway, yeah, you're right. You're right on the right train. They go up and they try to harvest it.
Yeah.
Right? So if you look into actual documentation, this is something that's actually going on. They actually see a meteor somewhere out in space that they're trying to find a way to mount and see if they can find minerals on.
Like our current government body, I think, would tell us about it and would probably tell us if they would try to harvest it. Because I mean, Trump is bombastic enough that he would just outright tell us, yeah, there's plenty of minerals. We're going to go get them.
Yeah, so without seeing the movie, it's hard because I don't want to spoil it because now I want to actually watch it with you guys as a watch party. And again, if you're not part of my Discord, if you're in the chat, we have movie nights. I'm a dictator, and I don't do horror films. That's not something we'll ever watch. I'm sorry, but some of these crazier films, like They Live, right? It was maybe a horror back in the day, and now it's just funny, but some of these older films and stuff like that, if you don't have access to them, my community, somebody in the community might have access to them, and we can share them. Obviously we try to do it as little as possible. I don't know what's wrong with it really, but I'm not trying to stream snipe or anything like that as far as watch parties go. Everybody has a stream up in the background, but if it's a movie, yeah, it's a little different. I don't know. If I ever get a feedback of it that's not okay, I guess I'll shut it down. But anyway,
yeah,
we like to watch.
We generally don't live stream the movie.
No. Yeah, thank you for pointing that out. Yeah, that's a good point. I will never ever live stream a video. It's like if you go to the movie theater, but I'm not charging you, so I don't see it being elite. Like you can share it with your friends, right? You can have a movie night and share a movie with your friends. So I think of it the same way. Again, I could be wrong, but anyway, long story short,
well, you're not pirating it and you're not monetizing off of it. Correct. So I don't see any immorality with it.
I agree with that. Yeah. And I like I said, if I ever get any feedback, I'll stop. But I do like sharing things with my friends, and I think of my community as my friends. Werewolf says Tubi has everything. So yeah, we'll definitely be probably watching it. But long story short is at the first it's, oh, don't look up. Nobody can be scared because then panic will ensue. And then later on, it's like, oh, there's minerals on this. And they start to try to figure out how to harvest it. And that's the extent of what I'll talk about. But long story short, unfortunately, with how desperate we are for rare earth metals and minerals, and we're slave labor across the world and things like that, it's hard to say that they wouldn't go up and try to harvest it instead of looking after their people first, making sure that it doesn't collide with Earth first. That should be their main priority, not the minerals that are in it. And that becomes the main priority in the movie. Yes, Mr. Sam, Princess Bride will be this weekend. If you aren't in the Discord, what's wrong with you? Yeah, Mr. Sam, appreciate the feedback there. Because, yeah, we are watching Princess Bride this weekend. Fucking love that movie. Not going to lie. It's a classic. And if you don't like it, what's wrong with you? Anyway. Yes, JM, onward Christian soldiers, soldiers marching as to war. It's time to start picking up our swords. And I don't mean that literally. Please understand, I will never be one to call for violence. That is not what I want of anyone. I don't want to see any violence ever. There's a certain time that it's a necessary evil.
We only call for verbal and vocal confrontation, that you try and speak to people.
Right. Yeah. Hey, Apprentice, good to see you. I appreciate the engagement. What up, wedges and spigots? Busy but listening where I can. I appreciate the view is all I really need. But Don't Look Up is insane. Yeah, we're definitely going to have to watch that as a watch party. So again, if you haven't seen it and you want to see it, join Tater Nation. We'll show it to you, along with all sorts of other good shit. Right? I'm a dictator, but I'm a fun dictator. Anyway, moving on. Oh, okay. I I knew that at some point, but I had forgotten. Anyway, okay, so yeah, what are we on now? Okay, so if aliens, are we past that? Sorry, everybody's like, shut up and just move on, Tater. Okay, so if should every citizen be required to spend 1 year working a public service job? Like regardless, just every single citizen.
If they want the right to vote.
Right.
Yeah, I think 1 year is too shallow. Honestly, I'd bump that number up.
So we're changing the prompt. That's why I say every citizen, regardless, every citizen should be required to spend 1 year working a public service job. Everyone.
No, I don't think everyone should have the rights that they do now either.
Again, we're not talking about rights. That's why I'm asking this question, is because it always goes back to voting and rights. But how many people actually understand what a service to your community means in general?
Are you saying like at the local level, public works type of jobs like trash pickup, water services, like local construction, or are you saying that this is like up into the military level?
Well, so like, for example, I'm an Eagle Scout, right? So I spent a lot of time cleaning up the highways, the canyons and riversides and all sorts of stuff as a public service. I never got paid for it. I'm sure it was a merit badge, possibly, so I got something out of it, but it wasn't something that I did because I was going to get something out of it. It was because I was learning to be a public servant.
Yeah.
And considering we've talked about this before, maybe not on the stream, but we are private citizens. Private. They are public figures watching our every move. Okay, so somebody brought it up in the chat. Flock cameras. I think it was UGAM. I can't remember if I I'm sorry. Anyway, flock cameras. I cannot stress this enough. We have got to start pushing back on that because that is in violation of our Fourth Amendment. And I will probably debate that if somebody wants to, because if you're in this community and you're wanting to debate that, we definitely need to have a talk, I guess. Where I understand if you're not doing anything wrong, if you're not doing anything legal, why do you have to worry about it?
Because I should be able to walk around in my backyard naked if I want to.
Well, that exactly. And now I'm hearing reports of sound recognition, which means now you're not just being watched, you're being heard, you're being listened to. Everything is going through an AI filter. And if there's anything that you say out of context that the AI doesn't get the context of, because we all know machines are cold, calculated, and don't care about context, then you're sitting as a terrorist or T-word or something along those lines. And it's just simply because you're BSing with your best buddy about how good something was, and it was the B, and taken out of context, and now you're on a list. These are things that people are not paying attention to, and it is serious things that we need to be contemplating. Again, whose data is being stored in these data centers, right? So with that being said, we're being watched by public servants, right? So if they have to be a public servant before they ever get the chance of being a public servant, maybe, just maybe, we'll actually have some public servants. Does that make sense?
Oh, Tater, can I push back on that then? What do you think the highest obligation or duty for society that a woman could have is?
What's that? I'm sorry.
What do you think that a duty for a woman should be, or an obligation to society should be? Like when we say public service, I know that the exact prompt, is a public service job, but what if we just took it to public service, right? You're benefiting the entire community and society at large. What do you think would be the best or highest duty for one to achieve as a female?
Well, kids, the next generation.
So if we factored kids and child raising in, then I would say yes to the prompt, and we should, right? If it was just the job side, then I say we should not, because I think forcing women into an obligatory workplace when they could be giving up their best childbearing years and everything else like that, I think, I think that's more of a no. So it depends what
Right, but
falls under the public service.
This is anytime. Like as soon as you turn an adult, which is technically 18, but who's actually getting married and having kids at 18? So at 18 to 19, you serve publicly, regardless of what that is. You go to the postal service and you fucking lick stamps for a day or a year for free, right? These are public services, right? We got to stop thinking that everything is we get something in return, especially these public servants. They make way more than anybody in the lower level does, and they fucking work for us. I'm sorry, guys. I'm hot tonight. Holy shit.
I couldn't.
I hear you, but nobody does a mother for themselves, right? That is obviously a very existential thing and not an internal thing, right? Like it's not a beneficial thing to the mother for the mother to have children, right? It's just her duty to the next generation.
Right. That's why I say this can be done from 18 to 19, where they're having to publicly serve, or they're not going to have kids. Like we shouldn't be having kids at 16 years old, right? We all agree on that one. So there's going to be a certain time that they can serve publicly where they're cognitively understanding what they're doing to benefit from the actions that they're doing. I was at 8 years old. I was out there cleaning up the roads and stuff. Sorry, Leia. What was that?
Heck yeah. Well, and I was just going to push back for 2 seconds on what Heaven said. I would argue, in fact, women do benefit from motherhood. It can change you in many positive ways. It makes you grow. It is a trying thing that brings you fulfillment and gives you purpose, right? In a way that not really much else can, in my own opinion.
No, I don't think that pushes back at all. I completely agree with what you're doing. I'm just saying that your intention of being a mother wasn't because I want to feel more pious or I want to be more righteous, right? It was more like I want the child to have, like it's for the kid, not for you, which I know is weird because you make the kid, but you don't do it for yourself, right?
Oh yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, you're making sense. Okay, less pushing back. Sorry. Continue.
Well, we need some pushback. It's all right.
No, that's what I'm saying. I completely agree with that nuance, right? But I would say that again, would you be okay, Tater, if you said it was conscripted through high school and it was like a part-time situation? Would you be okay with that? So when they become an adult, you're not saying, hey, as an adult, you can't be a mother for 2 years because you got to go work this job? Because then you're kind of...
So hold on.
Because...
Hold on, B. So you're saying that I'm saying don't work for 2 years, and it's just a year, just so we're on the same page. But I'm just like anything to get them aware of what it means to be a public servant, so that again, you're because I wouldn't mind running for office someday. It's not something that I'm trying for. But if, for example, there's enough people that say, you know what, fucking Tater, you've got some good views. I would love to see you as a governor or something like that. We need more people that are not wanting to be in politics to be in politics. The people that want to be in politics are the ones we don't want. And I don't know how to find the people that we want because they're not standing up because we don't want it. So we need to start looking for people that we want to push into that position, and we got to be careful with that. But according to America, anybody can be president, right? I thought that was the whole point.
Not anyone. I believe you have to be a U.S. citizen from birth.
Are you sure about that one? No, but
Pretty sure.
I agree with you on that one for sure. But
Yeah.
that's really the only thing that I know of as a spec, other than you have to be 40, 38. I think it's 38 to run.
I think
35.
35. Thank you very much. Yeah, 35. But other than that, I don't think that there's anything else that stipulates legally. You have to have money. You have to have people that want you to be there, right? But according to the, living the dream of America, it was supposed to be anybody, not just a two-party system. Now, I'm not sure how that would work, but it's like the preliminaries where we vote out all of the people that we don't want for the Democrats. We vote out all the people that we don't want for the Republicans. What would it change if we were to open that up to independents, such like, for example, myself would be? I wouldn't run on any platform other than Christ. That would be my platform, right? But I'm not Democrat. I'm not Republican. I'm not libertarian. I'm not anarchist. I'm under Christ, and everything will be going through Christ. And that's why I will never get it. That's why I don't intend on running. But you get what I'm saying, right? We need to get back to the idea that we look to Him and not to someone in a power position. Anyway, that was a tangent. Getting up on my soapbox, the whole reason I started this channel. But again, I don't know. America
So,
first, yes, exactly, Werewolf. Anyway, go ahead, B.
I have to add to what Heaven Max was saying about it being a high school requirement. I seem to
thank you for getting back on
remember,
that. Sorry, go ahead.
at least in my high school, it being a requirement that you had a certain number of voluntary hours of serving your community before you were allowed to graduate. I don't know if that was everybody's high school, but I certainly remember it being like something like 100 hours of community service before.
Thank you very much for that. I appreciate that. Yeah, I like I said, I had to serve. I mean, I don't remember if it was a high school, but yes, I agree with you on that one, Heaven. Like I said, it just any time at all, right? If it's in school, that would be fine because then it's a learning experience anyway. But if you make it outside of school, and I could be off my rocker here, I just wanted you to understand that this is how I'm seeing what you're saying, and if I'm wrong, correct me. But if they do it in school, then it's just that's part of my my obligatory thing to get my degree, and then I'm done with it, right? Now, I'm not saying that's going to be everyone because, again, I'm a different type of person, and if you've watched much of my content, you can probably vouch for that. But I don't learn the same way that other people do. I don't act the same way that other people do, right? And so when I was in high school, I learned and I grew because of my experiences of getting kicked out and having to make my way through to be able to graduate with my class and not be held back because I refused. I told my mom, I will not be a super senior. If I have to, I will drop out of high school and let the cards fall as they will, but I will not be a super senior. And she said, you're not going to fucking drop out. You're going to go through whatever you have to. And so we compromised. And I graduated with my class with honors, as I might add. But long story short, I learned things in high school that stuck with me. But a lot of people, that's not necessarily, and I could be wrong, but that's not necessarily how it is. So if you have to be part of your adult life where you're not making money on this, now I'm not saying they have to be like a full-time job for a year, like 2 hours a day for a year. 5 days a week. I'm not saying work your life away. I hate working my life away. But something to give them the idea, okay, I have to do this. I'm not getting paid for it. I have to sacrifice something in my life for this. I think personally that's going to be a lot more beneficial than a lot of people understand.
Yeah, see, I always think that like when you talk about any kind of thing like this, right, that it's a duty or an obligation, right? I think that either way it should inherently come with a benefit to
Appreciate
the
that,
nation,
werewolf.
but also to yourself, right? Like um taxes. Why do you pay taxes? It isn't because it's your civil service and it's the law. It's because the roads will be fixed. The schools need funded, right? We need national security, things like that. So, like, if you're talking about, hey, I'm going to take part of your life away for whatever reason, then there should be a benefit to the life as well. Like, otherwise, how's it benefiting the nation if everyone has to be forced to do civil service, right? Then I don't know how you could rationalize things like the draft then, right? Because then you're saying, oh, you have to do this civil service because the draft was instituted with, hey, you get the right to vote, but you also have the draft. Now you're saying, well, everybody does a civil service, but we still may also give you the draft. And I feel like that's going to be a challenge to overcome, right? With that kind of hypothetical.
Sure. If we want to get on the idea of the draft, a lot of people want to argue that it's going away.
Yeah, I think that's a terrible idea.
I agree with you, but it doesn't change the fact that we have more people now than ever before that would fight it, that wouldn't go to be drafted. So at this point in time, would it even be worth it to try to implement it?
Yeah, I mean, when you look at, we've got examples like Ukraine right now we can look at and go, okay, they implemented the draft and they started going after an older and older age group, right? And then now there's a lot of volunteer military people, so from the United States that are contracted out. The draft seemed to still work, even though there was a lot of citizen pushback against it, right? They were still sending you out to the foxhole in the front line. So you may as well do your best with what you've got because that drone's coming for you.
Sure. So what if we were to put forth basically during that year you would pay less taxes? Half, maybe even done away with completely.
So I don't know. I think that the incentives with taxes actually all messed up, right? I think that if you were, let's say the average income is $50,000, right? So if you had a 2-income household, you would have $100,000. Well, I think that if you've got one parent working and one parent at home with the kids, which is what we would want society to be like. So you have a married couple with a child. I think that they should have an incentive of $50,000, right? Like this is the potential income you're missing out on. We're going to cover it. I think the taxes, should be. So I don't know for civil service, no, but for something like that where it's actually for the furtherance of society, I would say yes, right? Like rather than incentivizing being a single parent or divorced or however the tax structure is now, I think we should incentivize families.
What if instead of a government incentive, we make it a workplace incentive?
Well, in that case, then
where
you're
the
doing your due
employer
diligence.
Child
at 18, that's awesome, man.
A
Father of 7?
ability to pay people
yeah.
more if they have a stay-at-home situation, where the employer would be able to. So instead, we go against what the Rockefellers did.
Yeah, I agree on that, Jeremy.
In the 1900s, where they made it a incentive for females to join the workforce, we're now making an incentive for them to leave it.
Yeah.
So if you have a person who is a single worker in the home, they have a stay-at-home spouse. They now make $50,000 more because they have a stay-at-home spouse from their job, not from the government.
Would you force and mandate the company to do that, or would it be subsidized?
No, it would be something that the government would incentivize the companies to do.
Oh, then I'm all for that. Yeah. Yeah. I was just going to say, you don't want to get too slippery on the socialism.
No. It's not like a you have to do this. It's a you get a tax break of X amount if you do this.
I think that's absolutely brilliant, right?
Yeah, it would be the only way we could get ourselves out of this. is to incentivize people to be stay-at-home parents.
Right. Well, but so the part of the reason I bring it up is like Jeremy Briggs in the chat says, civil service can mean fixing the bridges in Detroit. If you have to do something, more than likely you're going to do it a little bit better. We can get stuff like that done. If we have to sacrifice a little bit of income in taxes to do it, I don't know. Right? This may be a completely dumb hypothetical, but again, we are private citizens. They are public servants, and they don't know how to be public servants. So something's got to give somewhere.
What about if we removed the contracts being specifically like for fixing the bridges instead of it just being a public company or organization that does it, but instead we contract it out to private businesses because we then tend to see savings, quicker turnover, and a better safety standard, right? Because they'll compete for quality as well.
Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what I was getting at there as well. Yeah, I agree 100% on that one, for sure. I want to get as much privatized as we can, because when you give it to a private company, they're going to have more respect because they want to earn your business back. Where it's a government subsidized thing, they don't care. They're getting the money either way.
So I do demolitions in my local area, and I actually compete with the cities. So the city they have a cost. They have an entire equation for it when they do it and everything based on the square footage and stuff like that. So they'll put in a bid and I'll put in a competing bid, and then they'll actually host a town hall and let everybody vote on which bid. They're like, oh, well, that one's a bit cheaper, but better quality, blah, blah, blah. And so I actually compete with the city. So if it's like, if nobody's there to do it, the city's going to make sure it's taken care of.
Yeah, Jeremy,
but
baby
if I
steps.
outbid them, a lot of times I get the work. And so it's a give and take.
Right. It's fair. But I haven't heard from anything from Homestead or Leia. I was just kind of curious if you guys have anything to say, any points, any contention with me.
No, not thus far. I'm about to put these kids in bed. I let them stay up a little late, so I was just hanging out and listening.
Okay, no worries. Homestead.
I'm just waiting to see when you want me to post stuff in the chat.
Oh, you're good. I just want to make sure, like I said, I don't want people to feel like you're just being shunned. And as the conversation gets going, there's some people that will bogart that conversation and some people that aren't. So I just want to make sure that everybody has the floor when they want it. If you don't want it, no worries. You by all means, anyone is welcome to come and sit on my panel and just listen. If you have something to say, by all means, I want you to have the floor to be able to say it. Tonight has been odd. Little out of the norm for me, I think, but I do apologize. Hopefully it'll be different Sunday. Leia, you came off mute. Did you have anything to say?
Well, I was just gonna treat you like a donut for a second there. Yeah, you're always really great about letting people jump in. You know, I will elbow my way in there as nicely as possible if I need to, but you're really great about that on your panels, trying to make sure everybody has equal say. So I'm A-okay, and I feel like I had something else to add, but now I've totally forgotten, so don't mind me.
Well, and that's part of the reason why I try to make sure people have the floor, is because I have times that I can't butt my way in, so I just want to make sure, and I appreciate you saying that. I do want to wrap my stream up a little bit earlier than I do normally on Thursdays, just because I've had a long day, and I kind of want to get something to eat and things like that and move on with my evening. But was there anything that we wanted to discuss on the topic currently at hand? Okay. I'll start up just like I normally do, up in the right-hand corner of my screen, which is Leia, and then Heaven Max, and then Home Faucet, and then or Homestead, and then Mr. B. So Leia, I'll give you a chance to shout anything that you'd like to shout out.
That was a struggle. Could not find the mute key there for a second. Yes, I have a small little channel, Leophobia, just like my name, if you'd like to come hang out. I'm going to get more back into doing
JB, of
content because
course.
I've kind of sloughed off through the summertime. But yeah, we hang out. We like to have a good time. Most of all, make 100% sure you are subscribed to Tater here, the Beat Potato X, and make sure you send him some money dollars if you can, help him with the grift, and share this video to a friend or two. He's only like 200 subscribers, 250, I think he said, away from monetization, which once you get past 500, it's smooth sailing from here. So share him out and do him a favor. And join the Discord.
I appreciate that, Leia. Yeah, please check her channel out if you haven't yet in the chat. I know that we're at the lower end of the spectrum, but please check her channel out if you do. Appreciate that. Was there anything else you wanted to say? Okay.
Just thank you for having me as always, and I'll be back. And I hope that your night gets a little better and you get something delicious to eat.
I appreciate it. And as always, you have a blessed night. Thank you. Heaven, you're next up. Yeah, absolutely. Whenever you're ready, Heaven.
Yeah, I'm just gonna shill the Discord for a minute. I think it's an absolutely fantastic place. I think what's going on recently with people showing up and being quiet on it is you guys are suspicious. But if you come and just have a conversation, we can meme more. We can. It's a real good place. And debates are always real good there too, because I have yet to have a bad faith debate. So I think it's worth everyone just at least checking out, even if you're not like, why would I join one more? Just try it out. It's a good one.
I appreciate that.
I just want to say thank you. Yeah.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Yeah. If you're not part of the Discord, please join the Discord. It's a blast. And I'm glad he said that because it's been a little interesting the last couple of days. I don't want to say contentious because I'm not part of it. So I'm not the one being contentious, but it's been fun. It's been interactive. It's been good. So please join the Discord if you haven't yet. Thank you, Heaven Max, for being here. Again, if there's anything else you wanted to shout out.
Nope. God bless, and everyone have a good night.
Yeah, heck yeah. God bless, man. I appreciate you.
You too, sir.
All right. And Homestead, do you have anything that you'd like to say? No? There you are.
No.
Okay.
No, not really.
That's
Have
fair.
a good night.
I appreciate you being here and being mod.
You're welcome.
As always, I appreciate you.
You're welcome. Yes, sir. See you soon.
Have a good night. All right, Mr. B, go ahead.
All right. You guys know me in the chat by now, but I have two different channels. I've got King Trembler's AI Jambles, if you just want to check out some interesting AI tunes that I've got on there. And I've got AI Psalms for the Everyday Man that are all 150 Psalms of the Bible done in an a cappella style like King David originally proposed.
Nice.
Other than that, I would just say join the Discord and check out Tater's channel and subscribe because he's a real good guy and we've got lots of stuff always going on in the channel.
Appreciate that shout out. Yeah, if you haven't checked out his channels of AI music, I do feature it every once in a while. I do try to give him the shout out when I do feature that music. But definitely go check his channel out. It's good stuff. Thank you very much for being on the panel and everything you do as the mod as well. Again, I appreciate you guys is more than I can say. You have a good night, man.
We appreciate you, dude.
Absolutely.
Later.
Thank you. All right, guys. That was an interesting night. Yeah. So, as always, please feel free to join any panel that I have. I do have open panels after my engagement on Sundays as well. I will be opening up the panel going forward from here on out. I will be starting at noon my time, which is 2 Eastern Standard Time, and then we'll be going till about 4 hours, so 6 Eastern Standard Time. Please take care of yourselves out there. Remember those Second Amendment rights within the United States. Your response time will always be faster than that of the police. We've got to hold on to it. Outside of the United States, please take care of yourselves the best way that you know how. As always, look out for your neighbors because you don't know what they're going through. You don't know what's going on in their lives. We need to be kind to people. Christ is God, the King of Kings, and always will be. And I'll get out of your hair. The Potato, signing off.
shed your shame. Life's not waiting. Ignite the flame. And now or never. Feel the power. He's standing right. He's standing right. There's no time like now, no day like today. Forge your fate, your own damn way. The fire fades, but I remain. Through the struggle, through the pain. No more waiting, no more doubt. This is my time, I'm breaking out. Now or never. Hear me say, I'll seize my life and make my way. Salt in our beers and the road burns deep. Hands like anchors, hearts we keep. Swallow